this is the greatest announcement I will ever have to make. The Dominion has fallen. On November 17th, 2022, I received the information confirming that the star system we named Sirius B has officially cut their ties on all levels with the Sikaar and the Nebu Empire. It's been a long way. A long way to finally reach this outstanding victory, only due to the resilience, the intelligence, and the glory of the populations of Tula. The 5 civilized worlds of Tula experienced the same fate as the Sol system, this star system, when the overpowering alliance of the 6, led by the Orion Nebu Hive, infiltrated and took over the whole system. So we are very proud of the inhabitants of the Tula system, or as well named Sirius B. Sirius B is a star system that shelters a great variety of cultures, and they all have adapted to diverse environments, and the life in this system is teeming with diversity. Well, in the Tula star system lives a civilization that is very, very advanced, the Tashkeru, or Ashkeruta, the Tashkeru. They are slightly smaller than average humanoids in general, and in reasons of genetic hybridization and mutations to fit to the conditions of the place. And the Tashkeru have a triangular face, also with very slanted eyes. They are very beautiful, and they have thin, slender, slim silhouettes. Their culture is oriented towards science and technology, and some of them are involved nowadays in high positions in the Ashtar Galactic Command. The Tashkeru are mainly known for constructions and to have invented techniques of constructions with materials that are absolutely incredible. You can see through one side and not the other side. It's widespread throughout all the galaxy, and it is able to withstand radiations, such range of radiations that it's adaptable to all sorts of environment. This is who are the Tashkeru. And they are also, as official members of the Galactic Federation of Worlds, assisting on Earth in building a suitable ecological system for human evolution on Terra, enhancing the biomagnetic energy grid of the planet in coordination with the Erail from the Pleiades. The Tashkeru work at protecting the planet and its environment and its biodiversity, raising human consciousness through the evolution of the biosphere. Unfortunately, the Tula planetary system was occupied for millennia by the Orion Alliance of the Sixth, and was also the siege for the nefarious Ashtar Collective, which has ties to the corporate of Altair. This last organization, the corporate of Altair, collaborates with the Humanoid Alliance of Altair as well, which is a corporate also not working for the greater good, service to self. Also, they are working with the Orion Grey Collective and a negative Terran military presence. So the Tula star system has been oscillating for millennia between competing leads of power, until finding a fragile political balance. Not that long ago, about 1,500 years ago, in Terran scale of measure of time, the way peace could finally be reached, even in a precarious balance, was by delimiting planetary territorial zones, and neutral corridors for circulation of the ships in the star system. To get a better view of this intricate situation and really understand what happened, we need to go deeper into the understanding of the origins of the schism between the Ashtar Collective, or known as the Ashtar Alliance, and the Ashtar Galactic Command. And we need to travel back in time as far back as the Great Orion Wars. So the headquarters of the Ashtar Collective are located on the fifth and most outward planet of the Tula system, Morga. This organization includes many species. Ash means the bright light, and tar means the seed. So it's the seed of the bright light, Ashtar. At the time when the Alliance of the Six was forming in Orion, during the Great Orion Wars, which eventually led to the defeat of the Black League and the victory of the Nebu, while the Tashkeru humanoids found themselves engaged in a conflict over the protection of 21 star systems from the expansion of the agenda of the Nebu Empire. When a sad fate started to hit most of the worlds in the Orion zone, the Sirian systems stood up to the invaders and joined forces with the Black League. And they created their own defense collective that they called at the time the Ashtar. The reason why the Alliance of the Six, which gathers two of the most powerful empires in the galaxy, the Nebu Empire and the Sikaar Empire, didn't take complete ownership of Tula, as they surely could have done in a snap of the fingers, is due to the entry of the Tashkeru as members of the Galactic Federation of Worlds. Only then these territorial treaties for peace could be passed. As long as no one overlapped on anyone else's planetary zone, the precarious equilibrium didn't wobble. Until the day when tensions inevitably grew to a certain tipping point. Due to a significant infiltration and corruption of the Ashtar Collective by agents of the Sikaar Nebu empires, a rebel faction separated from the Ashtar Collective and sided with the Galactic Federation of Worlds. To distinguish themselves from the Ashtar Collective, now compromised, the Ashtar separatists took the name of Ashtar Galactic Command. They are not based in a particular star system, but in a large moving fleet. And they consider themselves as a mercenary military organization vowing to maintain peace in the galactic sector and free worlds from the Orion and Sikaar empires. Skilled in military operations due to their training with the Orion Black League, the Ashtar separatists were offered by the Galactic Federation of Worlds to help in the Sol system, and that's how they established their outpost in the upper atmosphere of Jupiter. But meanwhile, because they were deeply infiltrated by the reptilian Sikaar Empire, the Ashtar Collective, back in Sirius B, had also an involvement in the Sol system, but a different one. This involvement has been with shadow governments and the Dark Fleet. They were providing them with technologies and weapons, and they were siding with the Alcyon Tal-Shiar, notably. So, when we talk about Ashtar, we must really differentiate. There are two factions. Okay? So let's go back to the insurrection in the Sirius B system, and to understand really why a sudden and successful insurrection was made possible for the two star system after a millennium and a half of relative peace with their powerful Orion neighbors. We must look back at some specific event that occurred recently in our star system. Because if that hadn't happened in our star system, Sirius B could have never gone into insurrection. It was impossible. So what happened? That changed the face of the history of the galaxy. Well, on September 30th, 2021, my contact in the Galactic Federation of Worlds, Commander Thorhan Eredion, was involved in the arrest of a group of very special tall grey Ebans while they were attempting to escape from Dul's military base and reach out to a portal near Saturn. These were the very same Eban high officials responsible for the treaties with the MJ-12 and the military-industrial complex in 1955. So they were caught and instantly put in stasis and brought at the military science department on board Thorhan's battleship. And this science military department on the Excelsior is led by High Commander Denethor. Why they were instantly put in stasis? Because when they are captured, these beings, the Greys, instantly leave their avatar body. And this because this avatar body is terminated remotely by the Nebu hive for them not to speak. And as all Greys, they also have a brain security shield, which were cracked by the scientists of the Galactic Federation of Worlds. As long as they remain stunned, they couldn't send a signal to the hive. It was really caught in time. And this signal, because this signal would have resulted in their remote removal instantly. So for the first time, the Galactic Federation of Worlds was able to triangulate those Greys' brain frequencies and neutralize the frequency transmission to the hive queen, and then get to her. For the first time in the history of this galaxy, one could crack the access codes to the Orion hive queen. This Orion hive queen, as I've described already, has been located in the M42 nebula in Orion, in the Trapezium cluster. It was the center of the web. So at the start, in the Orion zone, each world populated by reptiloid and insectoid Greys, they had their own hive consciousness, their planetary hive consciousness. And when the Nebu grew their power as an empire, it started by the Eban, always the same, they started it. Many planetary hives merged together to become a powerful central hive. This has been the Nebu. The only way to neutralize the queen of the hive is to destroy the consciousness web, because she's a disembodied supraconsciousness. She can be assimilated to biological artificial consciousness, if you want. To do that, yes, we only needed to crack the web's frequency structure, the very signature of the hive. And they did it. The Galactic Federation of Worlds cracked the frequency key that could disable her and her regenerative functions and the quantum formula of the Orion Grey hive connectivity. So the Nebu Greys started to feel profoundly disoriented at first. That is for sure. Who knows what will become of them? The Galactic Federation of Worlds, as we know, has the best correctional system where free will is applied. They offer to the prisoners the chance to change and to be set free. They follow the ethics, of always giving a second chance. I believe that in this case, these ones will make an exception to the rules. Captured tall grey bands had been key players in the unfolding of events on Earth ever since their arrival in 1955. And 5 days later, after their capture, it gave fruits. The Nebu, defeated, were fleeing Earth, rushing out for the portals located in many places in the star system. They were caught in traps set by the Galactic Federation of Worlds, whose cloaked contingents were waiting for them near the portals. There was no way out. The final countdown had started for the end of the Nebu tyranny in the star system and beyond. The Orion Hive Queen was sent back a gift with the blessings of the Galactic Federation of Worlds that would infect the whole hive in order to dismantle the whole structure. It was enough of disguise. So many worlds destroyed, civilizations eradicated, and souls assimilated. It was about enough. The Nebu hive collapsed in every place they had anchored, releasing worlds, civilizations, souls. And these civilizations suddenly found themselves back onto the path to their own freedom, such as Tula. Having lost the support of the Nebu, the Alliance of the Six started their great withdrawal, and it is now only a matter of time before they either name themselves the Alliance of the Five or decide to break apart. We will know. Time will tell what they decide to do. It's not a problem anymore. What will become of the grey Nebu civilizations as the Dominion collapses? Well, the natural balance of the universal laws would probably lead each of them to reassemble back to their former planetary hives, as they were originally before the great Nebu assimilation. This is the end of an era, and justice being made. The Tula populations, after the official announcement of the defeat of the Nebu hive and the exodus of the Orion Greys from their star system, start a rebellion, breaking the accords of neutral zones and planetary territories. Led by the Tashkuru government of Nayan, second planet in the the Tula system, who bravely voted for independence, the Tashkuru armed force surrounded Morga with a powerful fleet of 6,000 vessels, addressing the siege of the Ashtar Collective to surrender. Predictably, resident Seekers decided to defend their post. The population of Morga was evacuated while the Tashkuru army led an attack on the headquarters of the Ashtar Collective. This could have turned badly for the Tashkuru army if the majority of the forces of the Sikar Empire weren't, at that time, surrounding the Sol system in hope to get revenge on their defeat there. The sudden collapse of the Nebu Hive also played as a surprise effect in favor of the Tashkeru. And with the help of the Galactic Federation of Worlds and the Ashtar Galactic Command, who sent immediately forces to assist the Tashkeru, the Sikar group on Morga stood absolutely no chance. The Ashtar Collective headquarters on Morda were destroyed and the planet taken back, as well as the complete star system. And now here we come to this day. Similar insurrections are now happening as I am speaking to you in other star systems, as we are seeing the beginning of a new era of freedom and prosperity in this sector of the galaxy. Also in cosmic accordance with the shifting of this quadrant into a fifth density zone. Honor to those who fell for the cause and rose again.